Hi, this is Jamie Steinberg with Starry Constellation Magazine. Constance, this is another brilliant role for you on screen, as we've seen you mostly doing a lot of directing lately. Was there something about Shira or the series itself that drew you to be a part of it?
Well, it's always being given the opportunity that has to come first. And so when I read the script, I got very excited because it was on the page. It was already fantastic. And being able to then read the book and have even more intel just about the characters and the story and the mystery of it all. For me, Shira is a character that feels a little bit like a combination of a lot of my past characters, but I've never been able to play this version, which is a woman who has the strength, but is almost crippled by the vulnerability. And I don't get to play those very often. Like, she's a little lost, fish out of water. She's not in her element. She's best when she's in her element. But being a fish out of water and trying to keep that strength in a place where she feels very vulnerable and doesn't have the ground to stand on that she normally has, and facing her fears and facing her secrets and everything that she ran away from was really interesting to me, because I miss the women that don't have it all together. We can all pretend that we do, but there's all facets of us that don't, and that's okay. And so I wanted Shira to be that person that was like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try. And seeing her try, and she can fail, that's okay, but she's at least trying. And that was really interesting to me to play.
Well, she seems to falter a bit when it first comes to mothering Mickey. The breakfast doesn't go well, and of course, he winds up in a police station. But she is doing her best, and seemingly she seeks some assistance, or at least a sounding board off of her ex-husband. Uh,
Which also shows you, right, like, sense of character. That shows you that it's okay. Like, she got a divorce, right? So it's like, all right, she made a mistake, moving on. And I like that they bring him back as like her seeking advice when he probably doesn't know any better than she does. But it just kind of shows that there's still that bond, that she keeps she keeps those bonds, because I think that's an important part of her character.
But I also see that she's vulnerable in a way too, because it does seem to hurt her when Mickey accuses her of being the reason why his family is overseas to begin with, or was overseas to begin with. And she's not invulnerable to slings and arrows, as they say. Um, are we going to explore a bit about her relationship with Mickey's mother, maybe further into the season?
Yes and no, because I do believe there's certain mysteries and secrets that will last a little longer than others. Because you can't reveal everything right away. But you will definitely have an understanding of what happened or what was not communicated, and then everybody jumped to their own conclusions because they didn't communicate. I think they come from a family that didn't talk very much and didn't communicate, and now they're realizing how that is hurting them, with the next generation. It's very hard to talk in ways where you say something but you don't say it all.
Very true. But this is such an interesting series. There's a mystery, there's family bonds at the heart of it, there's heart, there's humor. to all of the characters in this show. Is that what you think is going to make it such a fast, intriguing series for people to truly sit on their couches and binge watch, maybe even as a family?
I hope so, because I do think that is what we've all done a really good job of trying to do, is that the show doesn't just fit in one genre. It kind of covers a lot. It is coming of age for teenagers, but also for adults. You can still be coming of age in your 50s, because things change and people change and friends change, and you're like, wait, hold on, so now I'm in a different part in my life. And I think that that's what's wonderful, is that there are ways that everybody can relate to all of these characters in different ways, whether it's past, present, future. And it does. I love the comedic element in it. For me, is so wonderful, because you think you're watching one kind of show, and then there's all these wonderful, lighthearted, funny moments that bring you back to, like, oh, right, these are kids in high school, and they're going to go and change the world, because that's the time we're living in right now. We are living in, like, where the youth is not accepting no, and is going and finding their own answers and their own ways to figure stuff out, whether the adults are going to let them or not. And so I think it is a full, I mean, I watch it with my family. It's like one of the, there's not a lot of shows you can watch with your kids.